Imagine everything to ever exist in Minecraft all combined into one block. Today I survived 100 days on just that in hardcore, and I guess on the massive base I built throughout the video. And there was absolute chaos throughout this, which may or may not have been caused by me. And also by the end I've gotta beat this dude, so we'll see how that goes. And if you liked the video, drop a like and subscribe, but other than that, enjoy the madness that's about to go down. Day 1, I looked at the nothingness all around me and began hitting the infinite block. I started off getting some basic dirt and wood, then a chest appeared containing some bread seeds and apples. I just kept punching this block, placing dirt as I go, until I got enough wood to craft myself a wooden shovel and an axe. So now I can fly through this block. Then a pig appeared. I crafted some oak slabs, and this thing just stalked me the whole time. While I continued on to building a platform, I got back to hitting the block, and then a chest appeared with a water bucket inside. So I used that to go under the one block and place some dirt so gravel or sand wouldn't fall into the abyss. I placed some dirt, converted my wood into oak slabs, and continued on extending the platform. I made some fences but didn't have enough wood to craft a gate, so I mined the one block some more and ended up reaching the end of this beginning phase. And now it was time to make a prison. I mean, an area for the animals. Yeah, totally. The pig actually volunteered to enter, surprisingly. Totally voluntarily. I used some of this leftover dirt to add on to my dirt area that I'd later turn into a farm, and crafted some oak slabs I'd place around this area so I had more room for mob farms. Next,
the plains phase began.
Okay, why did I make that sound dramatic? I mined the block, grabbing a ton of dirt and wood there, until this pig's friend appeared. It just walked right into the gate without my help. And I gave them a light so it wasn't just gloomy here. And I sat there with the pigs, watching the sunset. Alright, yep, sunset. Nice. I went over to the block of infinity to entertain myself for a bit, but hitting it got boring, so I placed all the dirt I had around here and planted myself a tree. This one tree would start the beginning of an empire. Good or bad, we'll just have to find out. I used some wood to craft a shovel and started hitting this thing for the night, and animals started appearing. So I created the animal prison. There goes the cow. Just great. And another one. Okay. I created more of these, and now the 3 sections were filled with animals. I went back to hitting the block for its resources while this chicken just stalked me. At this rate, this place was looking more like a petting zoo than an empire, and I needed to change that. The sun was rising, and today I wanted to expand this place. The only thing I had was dirt, so that's what I placed around here. These couple of slabs just annoyed me, so I Thanos them and replaced them with dirt. I placed some more little trees I got from last night and extended the oak slab platform. My tools were running on empty, so I made some new ones, began hitting this block. I got some apples and another little tree out of a chest, so I planted it, and after hitting the block some more, a wild sheep showed up, a chicken showed up, and I reached the end of this phase, touching grass for the first time. What was that? Oh, sapling turned into a tree just now. So I got some wood and placed some more dirt. And now the block has expanded into this. But I really wanted to make this a lot bigger, like a whole lot bigger. So I made some planks, turned them into slabs, and got to placing. I placed a grass block down and egged some chickens. I finally got cobblestone from this new phase, so I mined it and got some upgrades. And then your boy Iron showed up for the first time. After a couple of boring minutes of mining, I made a furnace, so now I could smelt the iron and actually eat something besides apples. While I was mining, this fancy cow showed up, which meant I had to make a new little gate area, totally not a prison. And more of these things kept appearing, and this dude was fighting back. He was not having it. I mined the block getting cobblestone and wood until these strange dudes tried to mug me. I was not having any more of them show up, so I placed some torches around here and went back to hitting this block. Bruh, my inventory is full. Okay. I placed down some chests and stored some things that might be useful, and since that was done, it was time to expand. I placed some slabs and spent the rest of the night mining, and got swarmed by rabbits twice. The next day, more of the weird cows appeared, and what was once a sapling was now a massive tree. So I got to chopping down some of these. And boom, it is done. I turned some of the wood into slabs and got started on my real plan. The goal was to make a giant circle, and within it are sections showing the different phases of the one block. I spent today creating the outline of the circle, and this was a pain. And just like that, the outline is not even halfway done. The day flew by and I kind of forgot to place torches, so now my only escape was blocked by this explosive dude here. So there was only one way out of this. I went back to the platform, threw some eggs, made some slabs, and got to work on the circle for the rest of the night. By the morning of day 4, the circle was halfway done, and I placed rows of slabs to start on the new side of the circle. Eventually, I ran out of the wood, so I made it back to the trees. I did some deforestation, planted some trees, crafted some slabs, and placed the slabs. I went back and forth with this tree chopping, building stuff phase, and later that day, the circle outline was finished. And here, I realized I kind of just surrounded myself with angry creatures, so yeah, very bad move. I planted a tree, ate some apples, and built up the courage to build a row across the circle. And by doing this, I caused a spider to say hello to the abyss. I ran out of wood, so I chopped up my final tree and said hello to some angry creatures. Mined this block for a while. After these 4 all-nighters, I figured it was time to get some sleep. So I crafted some shears, sheared the sheep, fought an angry green thing, and finally made a bed to sleep. Day 5, I woke up to a flaming skeleton marching in circles around me, but eventually they all just ran away. I realized I had some extra dirt, so I began expanding what will be the plain section, and that is done. Part of the tree was floating, so I sheared off some leaves, chopped up what I missed, and this tree farm was doing good. I continued on to hitting this block until this happened. My life flashed before my eyes. And this one block really wanted me dead. The creeper followed me and I almost died. But your boy don't go down easy. I was low on resources, so hit the block some more. And it kept spawning in things that absolutely hated me. It even spawned in another creeper out of nowhere. I was not having it with this block. I took a break and collected some stone I smelted earlier and crafted some more furnaces. My goal was to get a ton of stone so I could begin building the cave section of the circle. Back to mining the block I went and back to fighting I was. Eventually, I reached the end of this phase and got a chest with some saplings, coal, and an empty map. I wrote on that map and the circle was looking pretty nice. The next day was the start of the Icy Tundra Phase, and the beginning of more suffering. A whole forest grew out here, so I chopped up a whole forest. And I collected some leaves along with some stone and iron that were burning up in here. I threw some more iron in there and upgraded to an iron axe, so wood could be chopped down faster. I placed some goats, planted the saplings, and next, it was time to work on the cave section. So I got some stone, turned them into slabs, threw some eggs, and started the building. Yeah, I was gonna need a lot more stone for this to work. Trees were growing, and more saplings fell, so I planted them. And I plan on making a cool ocean biome section with a pirate ship. So I started on its outline by placing some water and making it several blocks deep. I crafted some ladders so I could get in and out of here, not just be stuck. And since the sun was setting, I went to sleep. Day 7, I started off making a ton of planks and slabs, and began expanding what would be the bottom of the ocean, even though it's only like a couple blocks deep. But I still needed to make an edge, so I know where the next section will be. So I lined it up diagonally with the 1 block and built across the circle. And I almost finished the floor this day, but night was approaching and there was no torches here, so I was not gonna die. And I went to sleep. Day 8, I built until the floor of the ocean was finally finished. And now I needed water, but that'll have to wait because I have not got that from the block yet. Besides that, now there's a whole jungle out here in the plain section, and that had to go. I stored most of my inventory away and was ready to hit up some trees. But I remembered I had some bread seeds, so I just put those things in the ground, made water floats. I kind of forgot to hit the trees and upgraded my tools. Then just spent this day hitting the 1 block. And after a couple of minutes, a doge spawned. Okay. This is Doge here, this doggo. Its name is Legend. Hopefully it doesn't die, because then that would look this is gonna look really bad then. Shortly after, me and Legend actually had our first enemy, but that thing was light work. We were not being taken down. I stored away most of everything I got from the Icy Tundra. Like, what was I gonna do with a snowball in this 1 block, literally? But I got some more bread seeds, which I of course extended the farm with. And since the doggo attacked the thing, I gave him some bones. Back to mining the 1 block I went. I got raided by some Arctic foxes, and these things basically just robbed me and ran around jumping over trees. One of them went crazy and literally killed all the chickens, so I was really regretting them just run around. I went back to hitting the block until some losers spawned in and started shooting each other for no reason with a bow. I got some rest and worked on chopping up the trees to start day 9. and I was visited by this fox that just yeeted itself into the abyss. Okay. Well, I planted a lot more trees than I thought because this was taking up most of the day, but finally they were all gone. I got out some dirt I had from mining the block and extended the plains biome some more. I stored some blocks, grabbed some chicken, smelted some gold, and feasted down, then collected what came from all the trees I deforested. Now I crafted my first armor, so I don't die. I planted the saplings I got in this cool line. I mined out a line of dirt because they were in the wrong spot and replaced them with oak slabs. And removed some more dirt to create a border for the new biome sections I plan on building in. So much of this dirt is just falling into the abyss. I collected some stone I smelted, made some slabs, and placed the first row. But I got swarmed by an angry child and his friends. Yeah, I was definitely not staying out there in the night. Day 10, I woke up to a group of mobs having a party outside my house. And there were a lot left, so I did what I had to do. I crafted a bow and just said hello to them. I threw some eggs. And made some torches because that was not gonna happen again. I walked around this place putting these torches wherever I could and got back to replacing the dirt with stone. Eventually, everything was replaced and I extended the cave section a little bit more and extended the border between it and the plains. The sun was starting to go down and I started working on the border for the next 2 sections. Today is the day of the borders. I finished one border from the section I was doing yesterday and began filling in the border for the ocean section. Then this fox said hello. So after that I visited where each section would be and filled in the borders with wood slabs where they need be. Then got back to my job of hitting this block until a polar bear spawned in and then a doge spawned in. So I fed it some bones and the doge army was starting to form. I did some more mining, tamed another doge, mined some more, and a monster party was about to start. I got the dogs up and we were under attack. Zombies were everywhere, but we made quick work of them. And I went back to collecting resources from the block. And I was chilling and this stray almost knocked me right into the abyss. The next day, I gathered all of my dirts and expanded the plains section, where this polar bear stared straight into my soul and ran off because I guess I'm just that intimidating. The trees were fully grown and they were an absolute mess. I was not sorting that out today. Instead, I went around collecting all the cobblestone and iron I could, smelted it and smelted it. I started mining the block, and then more of these losers started a fight with each other, so I ruined their day. I was getting sick of this Icy Tundra Phase, to be honest, with all this snow and the mobs. I definitely wanted out of this thing. These strays kept popping up and I kept launching them. I collected the iron and crafted a new iron pickaxe, an axe, and a shovel. So this block now had no chance. I got a chest with some gold and eventually reached the final chest, which gave me bone meal, bones, ice, and a tree. See, nothing really, this ice phase was an L. And now we have reached the ocean phase of the block. Yeah, I got a feeling this one will be better than the icy one. It can't be worse. But before I started at it, I placed some stone slabs along the cave section and started on cutting down this jungle I created earlier. And finished right as the sun set. Day 13, there were some trees left over, so I got to cutting them down. And I replaced these planks with dirt, then used the leftovers to expand the plain section. I farmed the little wheat I had and planted some seeds, and then just chilled out eating some nice watermelon. But unfortunately, I couldn't sit here for long. I had to do stuff. I put some things in the furnace and collected the 1,000 saplings the forest dropped. I didn't like my bed where it was, so I moved it, and something about these trees wasn't looking right. So I checked it out, and turns out I missed a lot of wood, which is why the leaves were still floating. I said what up to the lonely chicken over there and emptied my inventory because now it was time for the ocean phase. I got a lot of sand, of course, and got some of those underwater blocks. Then after a little bit, something great happened. A couple of turtles appeared. Yo, we got some turtles. Look at that. We gotta make this ocean section. The ocean section wasn't done yet, so they just ran straight for the water in the plains area. And today is also the day I got my first diamond from this block. I continued mining and kept getting coral, but whenever I mined it, it just died died. Then out of nowhere, Squidward appeared. And I didn't have any water, so the only thing I could do is watch this happen. I tried hitting it, then realized there were 2 of them, so that just made this even more sad. But I came up with an idea. I kind of forgot ice melts into water, so I built a small area, placed some water, placed some ice, and turned it into an infinite water source. So now I had the water to save any fish that spawned in from this block and they wouldn't just die. I mined the block for the rest of the day and had to fight off this angry trident man. Then fell asleep. Day 14, I was gonna fix up this ocean section. I had sand and some cool ocean blocks and water, so I got to work on it. I turned the cool blocks into slabs so I had more, then I placed some sand along the back edge of this section. I crafted some more slabs, so I fixed up some spots that needed fixing, then placed sand all across this area. But here, I made a big mistake. For some reason, I thought I could just place one of these slabs under a wooden one, and no. Going by Minecraft physics, you can't do that. And I did not want there to be a giant gap just above the sand. I didn't want to accept this reality and just kept trying to place blocks around it, and you know, I ate some watermelon thinking about this for a sec and decided to remove the sand. Instead, I was going to use a different block to put around it, but unfortunately I didn't have enough of it yet, so back to the 1 block I went. Then some fish decided to make an appearance. I quickly placed water over the 1 block, but yeah, the water just vanished. And the fish were dead. My big plan to make water and save the fish turned out to be a massive fail. And all that was left were 2 dead fish I couldn't pick up because my inventory was full. I emptied the inventory and back to mining I went. Then another fish spawned, but this time I decided to break the block with the water and the fish was thriving. I captured it and called that a night. Day 15, my mine was broken and I tried crafting sand slabs for some reason and went back to mining the 1 block. Out of nowhere, this minion tried attacking me, but it just jumped right into oblivion instead. I got some more fancy blocks from this thing, and these one-eyed losers kept spawning in staring at me. I just watched them bounce their way off the map, and to make it even more weird, I was chilling and Mrs. Puff just spawned in here and almost took me out. Hey, we got some diamonds, let's go. Then some fish appeared on me. I unleashed the water to try and save them, and one made it in. Then the other one fell off a cliff and died. Many fish died during this ocean phase. So far, we only had 1 survivor, and this pufferfish wasn't one of them. I got the dead fish from the furnace, and I was curious about this pufferfish, and I just decided to eat it, and it got stuck in my throat, so yeah, no, did not like that. I sat there eating watermelon, waiting on this iron to smelt, until the Guardian of the Galaxy showed up right here, and you best bet I'm not messing with that thing. I went to grab the dogs, but it already jumped off the platform by the time I went back to attack it. I tried mining the block, but to my surprise, I was cursed with mining fatigue. I said goodbye to the dogs and told them I was going to get milk, and when I got it, I never returned. Nah, but for real, I just mined this block a bunch. Getting some dumb stuff like lily pads, and then something appeared that I had to save, some dolphins. I unleashed the water and tried blocking off the edge so the dolphins don't just fall off. Okay, what the heck is my doge doing? Luckily, one of the dolphins was very dumb, and it thought down was up, so it just nosedived into the floor while I trapped it. Alright, it might not act like one, but this is indeed a dolphin. I was tired of this and on my way to sleep, then the dolphin just jumped out of the water and started hopping around. I tried to save this thing and went to sleep so mobs wouldn't spawn in, but when I woke up, the dolphin fell. I literally couldn't keep anything here alive, not even a fish. I really needed to finish up this ocean section, so I got to placing the blocks around the outer edge. I got rid of some oak slabs and replaced them with sand since it goes with the ocean theme more. The outer bits were starting to come together, but I was definitely lacking on the resources. So back to the block I was, and I got a second chance at saving a fish. And of course, I blew it. This thing swam under me and just started spinning in circles. Then miraculously, it jumped back in the water and I caught it. I mined the 1 block some more, said hello to some more turtles, and got visited by an angry gang of monsters. I honestly should have died here since I was targeted by every living thing and ran with half my health left. But there was a problem. I had no food. So I got the dogs and we went in to fight. And they were trapped in the water. When I try to do it, I can't. And when I don't, I do. The doges took care of the trident lunatics, and I fixed up the mess around this place and went to sleep. Day 17, I realized I had mining fatigue again, so I crafted a bucket, drank some milk, threw some eggs, and went to expand the farm. And these turtles were all in the way. A lot of bone meal was used by now, and I had a lot of wheat, which I used to feed the cows and the sheep and this lonely chicken over here. And now it was time to finish the outside of the ocean section. Wow, okay. This thing just needs a ton of water, and then I can start on the pirate ship. Pirate ship. Yep, you heard that. I am building a pirate ship. So next, I made an infinite water source in the center, got rid of the old one. But I couldn't help but realize this whole ocean section was only being filled in part way because the animals and everything were blocking it off. So I destroyed some of this and left it to tomorrow. The next day, I filled in the ocean section border with sand and removed the wood planks within it, where I then placed the new blocks to outline where the border would be. I made some ladders so getting up and down will be easy, and mined all around the mobs. My axe broke and I didn't have enough iron to craft a new one because I was also broke and I had to go back to the Stone Age. This place was being destroyed and rebuilt bit by bit until eventually the only thing left to move were the floating mobs. I fixed up the border a bit more and watched the sunset for the remainder of the day. Day 19, I was gonna fill it in with some water now. I started on the outside and began filling everything in. This was a whole lot of back and forth walking, but eventually I reached a point where the outside was completely filled in and I had to get to the middle. But first, all these trees were annoying me, so I just got rid of them. And by doing that, I was punished, so it started raining, and mobs were pouring in from absolutely everywhere. So to sleep I went. Day 20, I awoke to a zombie villager. I placed some blocks to try and save this thing, but I think you know where this is going. Every time I tried to save something, this happens. It accidentally burnt. I ate some watermelon, thinking about how on earth did this happen again, and got back to filling this place with water. Then I thought I saw something in the corner of my screen, and it was a wandering trader. These dudes walked up to me and had nothing, absolutely nothing I wanted, and I was broke anyway, so I just let them float around in this water. Filling this in confused me at first, but by the end of the day it started taking shape. Day 21, I mined the one block so I could see what was left in this ocean phase, and I ended up getting enough iron to craft an iron pickaxe again. And now, since I had an actual pool of water, I was able to save some fish, and I actually saved the Wonder from a drown. I extended the farm, used some bone meal, made that bread, and fed the mobs. I got a bunch of coral from the block I could use to decorate the ocean. Once it was filled in, I unloaded the inventory, smelted some iron. I got a chest with a heart of sea inside. Yo, we just saved that fish. We just did that. But then another Elden Ring boss spawned in, and it could either jump in the water and probably kill me, or just jump off the... Yeah, it jumped off the cliff. I mined the block little, and a music chest appeared with some books that I could use for enchanting later. After a lot of mining, towards the end of the day, the final chest spawned. It gave me a trident and some fish. Day 22, the jungle dungeon phase started, which sounds pretty dangerous, not gonna lie. So I was not going anywhere near that block. Today I worked on filling this area in with water, which took about the entire day to finish, and it was looking nice. I kinda got to move the animals to another area sometime, so I needed a lead, and that meant this wandering trader over here has to go. I picked up the lead it dropped, and I was now hunted by the angry llama. This thing was even hurting the turtles. Like, bruh. Day 23, some of the trees were floating, so I got rid of them and gathered as much dirt and wood as I could, made some gates, and began building an area for the mob farms to relocate, and also a place for a chest room. I worked on making a small bridge and stocked back up on some more slabs to make this area into a massive square. I spent the rest of the day building, and things were coming together. Day 24, I worked on building the platform, the mob farm, and the chest room. After some building, I crafted some more slabs, and this pig looked at me funny, so I did what I had to do. I collected some iron I'd smelted and crafted an axe. Then back to building a giant square I went, and eventually, towards the end of the day, the platform was complete. I placed some leftover dirt in the plains again, and I could not help but realize this border was completely whack, so I broke what I didn't need and went to sleep. Day 25, it was time to transfer these mobs to the new platform, and I started with this ugly looking this sheep here. When I brought it over, I built a fence in area, and in it went. I brought each sheep here one by one, except for this dude. He was not lucky. I then proceeded to cook it and ate the pig. But moving on, I made some more fences and gates and lured this chicken over to my gated area, which is now my very own Chick-fil-A. Next up were the cows. Not gonna lie, these are what's gonna be carrying me throughout this whole thing. This right here, this is the Burger King of the kingdom. I did chop up the other cows because I was not wanting to walk all the way back over there again. And I brought the creepy red ones into the area. So all in all, this day was a solid W. Day 26, I started off my day with an nice Big Mac. Then built the final area for the bacon and brought them in. They were about to have a lonely life because I only have wheat to feed them. I'm sorry. Kind of random. I was walking back and realized the gray animals were on the stone section and green ones in the grass. It just looked cool. But since I got rid of the mobs here, I was able to extend the ocean area, so it actually looked decent. But I realized I had a ton of sand left over, so I got rid of the border I made earlier and replaced it all with the sand. I then decided it was time to take on this phase of the one block. It was called the Jungle Dungeon Phase, and I was not having the Ender Dragon pull up on me out of this alone. So I got the doges and absolutely broke this thing. Yeah, it turns out the Jungle Dungeon Phase was all cap. This thing was This had parrots spawn from it, and you know, since I'm gonna be making a pirate ship, I have to have some parrots. Day 27, these green dudes tried giving me a hug, and I was not having that. So today, I gathered up all of my coal, smelted some cobblestone, and went back to mining the block, because I needed those resources. Then angry flying creatures spawned, and they were very annoying. These things were literally baby zombies on steroids, but the doges took care of them, and I got some bamboo and cocoa beans from a chest, mined the block, and then a leopard darted out from this thing. I was not catching it. I didn't even try to go after it. I took my stones, made some slabs, and got to making the framework of this cave section. You know what this water's missing? A lot of fish that could have been, that's the truth. And a pirate ship. I started placing some wood along here, and these few blocks would be the beginning of something great. Or terrible, I guess we'll have to find out. Okay, so this might look terrible, but this is art, I promise. The next day, I collected my stones and made some torches to place around here, because if I could make it safe here at night, I could get so much more done. Today I went back to working on the pirate ship. Trying to make this thing even was a pain. I crafted some slabs to add some more character to it, you know, and began work on the other side. Okay, not bad, but now it's time for the worst part. Yeah, I did not know how to make this thing look like a pirate ship. The top deck was just a nightmare. I broke slabs, placed slabs, and by the end of the day, things were starting to come together a little bit. I took advantage of night and placed as much torches around this place as I could. And I'd say I definitely missed a spot. Later, I got attacked by these dudes. Went to sleep. Day 29, there was a forest fire of mobs over there, and I realized I forgot to place torches in the ship. So, great. Today I punched a lot of these mobs and had a creeper explode my pet fish. I worked on the ship some more, trying to figure out an actual design for it so it doesn't just look like a bunch of wood. And all I ended up doing today was even it out and extended it a bit. My tools were almost out of battery, so I smelted some iron I had sitting around and crafted an axe. And back to the ship I went. My original plan for the ship had really gone out the window, but by the end of the day today, I think I was on the right track. Day 30, I extended the ship deck, added the edges, created the front, and then the back, and began building the mast. Well, bam. Okay, it is looking quite alright, I'd say. And time to sleep. Day 31, I got some wood and made some ladders, because today I needed to build a way up to the mast to get into the lookout section. I made the mast higher up so I could see more of the map, and remade the lookout area. It's getting there. Ship is getting there. But I couldn't help but see how boring the water looked. So I got those lily pads I called useless earlier and filled up this area. I placed some coral. And I also placed some dead coral, thinking it'd come to life, but no, that did not work. But at the end of it, you really couldn't see anything I placed underwater unless you had a light down here. So I crafted some sea lanterns, making this water not so boring. Then tended the farm. And since the ocean was filled in, the turtles didn't have to be cluttered around this little piece of water, so I pushed them in. The next day, I forgot to put some torches in the ship, so now there's a creeper there. I added some logs to the furnace and got these losers to fight each other. Used bone meal in the bread seeds, got some wheat, and fed these dudes. It was kind of a giant gap in the ship if you didn't notice, and I just used some wood to fill it in. And this stone area was looking kind of bland, not gonna lie. So I made some more stone slabs and filled this place in as much as I could. I crafted some slabs with leftover underground resources I had and tried placing them evenly around here, which meant I had to get rid of like a good bit of stone blocks already placed. And by the end of the night, I placed some more sea lanterns underwater. Yo, all right, the ship is looking good. All it needs now is a sail. I will be doing that later. I picked up some iron I'd smelted earlier, made an iron pick, then got to work on filling in the rest of this cave section until eventually it was all filled. But this was only the beginning for this section. I was gonna build a whole cave here, and I got to building the outline of it. Okay, why are the doges in the way? After the day of building, it seems the polar bear approved, and I finished the day off by feeding these mobs. The next day, I took the sheep's clothes, picked up some fences I made earlier, and used these to place on the lookout of the ship. Cannonball. I made a bunch of oak slabs, and now it was time to begin the chest room. I started by expanding the platform in this area. Ate some good watermelon, got some more slabs, and finally finished expanding this area. Now it was time to start building. I created the outline, but ran out of slabs and made my way back to the block. Then there was just this grass sticking out and it did not belong, so I got rid of it and filled it in. Said what up to the parrots and then did some farming. The shovel was running low, so I made one and went to mining the one block. Cat spawned in, and so did a chest with some leather and sugarcane. I planted the sugarcane around this ocean section, and this would now be my sugarcane farm. Then a legendary warrior spawned. I'm not even kidding. I somehow moved this beast into the plain section, and then this witch spawned in and just stared at me very awkwardly, so I launched it into the abyss. I got a witch egg, and I had no idea what to do with it, so I just mined until some horses decided to say hello. You know what else paid me a visit? These little gremlins. I got the dogs, but I kind of forgot dogs couldn't fly. So I ran around just swatting these flies with an axe and an arrow. Back to mining. I got another diamond and a monster party happened. These cursed flies were everywhere and I really didn't have much protection at all. I tried taking out the witch, but the flies kept buzzing in my ear, so I threw my trident at it, and this thing still lived. My comrades were falling, so I used the bow on these, but they were too tiny. I crafted a furnace, did some cooking, and I was mugged by a fly. It's nighttime, so mobs were pouring in. So my only option was to build up and sit there listening to this for the night. Eventually, I broke out and waited for the zombies to shut up before I made it down. I took out some of these sheep, cooked them up so I wasn't on 1 heart anymore. And there were a couple of mobs left, so I got rid of them. Then fixed up this damage that's been done. I used some of the dirt from the one block to fill in the plain some more. Got some wheat and placed torches all along this place because I definitely missed some spots earlier, but then the doge fell off the cliff. Bad idea taking the doges up here. After the entire day of placing torches, it was time to see what spots I missed. I ran into the ship and yeah, a creeper blew up the ship. I ate that bread, took out the skeleton, and turns out I forgot to place torches on top of the ship. Okay, hopefully I can walk around here now without getting attacked at nighttime. No mobs were actually spawning in, so we did it. And tonight I worked on building the cave. Okay, not bad. It's looking okay. Day 37. I placed blocks all day around this cave and added some gold ore because who doesn't like gold? I used some leftover clay to make clay blocks that fit in here as well. And at nighttime, I fought a skeleton. Farmed, mined the block, punched some flies, visited Chick-fil-A, pet a sheep, pet a cow, ate some steak, got a diamond, fought a witch, got poisoned, and then it was morning. I did not like the idea of being on half a heart, so I healed up and got to making this cave look aesthetic. Trying to make it look aesthetic. I worked on the top and building up the sides using all types of underground blocks I had. And later I harvested the sugarcane and replanted it before going back to the one block and saying hello to some new parrots. I got some basic things out of basic chests and said hello to a horse, and I bet you can guess what spawned in next. Another one of those annoying flies. I was almost a dead man, so I made some food and pet some cows. Hey, okay, I think we're good. I went back to mining and hitting witches into nothingness. And at the end of the phase, I got a useful chest with diamonds for tools and some saplings and bamboo I'd be able to plant. While this next phase was counting down, I placed some dirt I had in the plains, then placed some torches around this cave so mobs wouldn't spawn like they did on the ship. Okay, the next phase is the red desert. That will be a cool section. I smelted myself some iron, added a small part of the jungle section, and went back to repair my blown up ship. I guess it wouldn't really be a pirate ship if it didn't get blown up a few times. These turtles have just been chilling down here. Day 39, everything was restored. I went over to chop down the jungle trees at the jungle section and placed them along the edges here. along with some leaves so the tree saplings don't fall into the void. Back to the block I went, and I started mining this cursed desert section. Psych. I went over to building the chest room, which I spent the rest of the day building. I really didn't know what I was going for here at first. I was kind of just placing stuff down to see if it looks right, and in the process, I had to go to war with a gang of mobs. Too much of these things spawned in, so I went to sleep thinking it'd all be over. I was very wrong. The next day, I woke up to a creeper in my face, and this thing exploded, killing 2 parrots. And all that is because I didn't place this one torch. I had this trap door idea in mind for the chest room, and honestly, this thing was looking pretty bad. I had no idea what was going on here, but I placed some chests in here and moved some inventory into it, then went back to hitting the jungle trees, placing them in a row. My chest room was still missing a roof, so I got to building that, and by now, all the chests were in here. I made the farm bigger, planted some more seeds, and added water. I stood in front of the chest building just trying to come up with a design for the whole day, and after an entire day of thinking, I thought of something. I decided to make this thing a big wooden chest. Literally just a giant chest. And on the next day, that's what I began working on. I made the roof and added some dark spruce logs around the edges, and I did not know what to make of the centerpiece, so I made it cursed and added birch trees to it. So after all that building, it was now time to mine this desert phase of the one block. Yo, what is a llama? You know, what is a llama even gonna do here, honestly? Well, since there was a llama here, I started the first bits of the desert biome and went back and forth between mining the one block and placing some sandstone until this happened. This dude, Mateo, spawned in and he just stood there. Mateo would go on to live a very tragic life. But for now, he kind of just wandered around this little area. I mined for a bit, fought some husks, mined some more, and found Mateo trying to sleep in my bed. So I kicked him out. Day 43, I placed my inventory in a chest, got some iron, and began building another bridge because right now Mateo was kind of homeless and I was gonna build him a villager house. So I placed a lot of slabs and this place was starting to come together. Later, I did some farming and went to sleep. The next day, Mateo was creepily standing over my bed, so I ran away from him and fed the mobs. Today, I started mining the block again. I got some diamonds, and this dude Ian appeared. He was trying to sell me some stuff, but I really did not want anything. Then after more mining, a lot of donkeys spawned, followed by some more husks. I extended the red desert section and placed all types of these terracotta around it and got back to mining, but was chased down by an angry man that really wanted a hug. Why is this guy chasing me? Okay. I placed some more and that was it for the day. I mined the block, getting a lot of sand, some foxes, and then a monster party. This time there was a ton of angry hugging people chasing me and these guards. I took out the zombies and was stampeded by these vindicators. I had no food and 3 hearts, so I chose for my buffet over here, then fought these guys, taking them out. I placed some more terracotta, thinking about how I just almost died, and chopped down some trees. And then placed the jungle trees where the jungle section would be. The next day, I said what up to my animal buffet and chopped up some floating trees, so I'd be able to make slabs to continue building the villager house. I spent the day placing these slabs and ended it with some farming. I cooked myself up some breakfast and placed some blocks for the villager house. And placed some terracotta for the red desert section. But there was a problem. I couldn't place sand because it would fall into the abyss. So in order to place it, I had to fill this area with slabs. So yeah, I may have caused this donkey to hop into the abyss, maybe. But now I could fill this area with sand for the rest of the day. Day 48. I placed more slabs until this entire area was filled in, and now all that I needed was more sand. So I mined the one block. Then this villager Xander appeared. He kind of just like stood there very creepily, watching me hit this block. You can see a shadow right there until a bunch of these things decided to say hi, and he ran out of there. Xander was gone. I mined the block and got a chest with a panda egg and continued on fighting husks until I decided to start placing some sand around here, and this was almost filled in. I finished the day with some farming and feeding mobs. On day 49, I hit this cursed block until I don't even know how to pronounce that, spawned in. I mined the block, got some basic stuff out of some basic chests, and placed more sand along here. These chill vindicators spawned in, causing no harm whatsoever, but it was just an instant reaction after getting mobbed by the hugging dudes. Finally, by the end of the day, the red desert section was filled in and now it just needed a pyramid. Day 50. I added some dead bushes around here so it didn't look as boring. I made the chest room look a little better, and I kind of forgot about the villager house after working on this desert area. So right back to making it I went. I used jungle wood on it, working on the sides and roof. And that was it for this day. Day 51. I crafted a bed and sheared the sheep. Bro, why are you looking at me like that? I gathered more wheat, planted some seeds, destroyed some trees, and placed leaves along the jungle section. I wanted to fill it with dirt instead, but I used up all the dirt in the plain section, and I put down some bamboo, then added a bit to the roof on the villager house. I placed some beds for the villagers and went to sleep. Day 52, I woke up and they were nowhere. I didn't see one villager, not Mateo or any of them. They just vanished off the map. I checked the boat to see if they threw some party in here or something, and found the turtles just chilling in the same spot. So now I had a villager house, but had no villagers. I was walking by and found Ian just hiding under some rocks for some reason, and a fox was carrying a diamond. I don't know how it got it, but this thing robbed me. And back to mining the one block. I got a chest with some slime and saplings, then had to take on an army of husks. I found a chest with some coral, so I placed it in the ocean section. Eventually, I reached the end of this phase and got a ton of emeralds and enchantment bottles. I didn't have enough inventory space, so I tossed some items into the void. While the next phase was starting, I worked on the roof of the villager house. Welcome to the Nether Phase. Oh, this one ought to be good. Why is this sheep here? I fed the mobs and started on this Nether Phase because this is going to be one of the sections that I'm going to have to fill in on the circle. And out of nowhere, some piglins spawned in. Okay, that hurt. Chill out. They turned into some dumb zombies, so I took them out. The next day, I started building the Nether section until I ran out of blocks. And after looking around, I realized there was still a ton that needed to be done. First, I went back to the chest room and grabbed the materials I'd need. And I placed some furnaces over here to smelt some food and iron. I crafted an iron hoe because I was gonna do a lot of farming. I fed the mobs, and I still needed a lot more wool for the ship sail. My health was low, so I cooked up some steak and got that fixed. I made some birch slabs and got to work on another bridge because it was time to create an area for the XP farm. I made the outline and filled it in, but it started to rain on me, and I stayed up throughout the whole night just filling this place in. And of course, mobs started pouring in, so I built a wall to block them off. I crafted some chests and placed them where the farm would be. Then this tall skinny guy tried to jump scare me. I made a hopper, put it above the chest, and started building the XP farm. But of course, I eventually ran out of wood. I really didn't want to sit in the rain any longer getting soaked, so I made a run for it. Oh shoot, there is a spider in my way. I placed some torches real quick around here and went to sleep. Day 54, part of the recording got deleted, but basically I planted some trees and went to war with an army of mobs. How are there so many of these? A couple of missing torches led to all of this. But on day 55, I took out the remainder of the mobs from the war, said hello to some cows, and worked on getting this cave finished. How was that my first potato all this time? The cave was coming together and the forest I'd planted has completely filled in now. I added some torches to the top of the chest room and started taking down these trees. I had a ton of wood, so I fixed up the chest room, removing these trap doors and filling in the holes, and went back to the villager house to build a roof until it was done. Day 56. This XP farm really needed finished. It was kind of just there. And when I made it to the top, I got a whole view of this place. Yo, I just noticed a parrot actually flew up to the top of its ship on its own. What a legend. Unfortunately, I ran out of wood after some more building, but the view was worth it. I did a bit of farming and feeding. These sheep need to calm down. I need to make a sail. I'm sorry. I cut some trees, planted some, and got bamboo. But then something tragic happened. Remember Ian? A skeleton pulled up on him, and then a creeper exploded. I'm not sure if he lived or not because he's invisible, so we'll have to find out. Why are you helping the pigs? Bruh, what is he doing? Day 57, I put some things in a chest. Today it started raining on me again. I started building the XP farm since I had more wood until, of course, I ran out again. So back to chopping down some trees jumped on the beds, and placed some leaves down in the jungle section because unfortunately I ran out of jungle saplings and wasn't sure if the one block would spawn them anymore. I chopped down more trees and began mining the nether phase of the block. The next day, I realized that there were some slabs where the snow biome would be, so I had to get rid of them. I took the snowballs I had and made the snow blocks, then used the snow blocks to craft snow, and planted a jungle's worth of trees, collected some bamboo, did some farming, feeding, fighting, and basically ran around until the morning was here. I chopped down the trees so I could get back to working on the XP farm and got back to the building. chopped down more trees, planted trees, and I was attacked by phantoms. So I placed some gates in front of the villager house and stayed there till the coast was clear.
Hey, these phantoms are the ones scaring me now. Haha.
Back to wood chopping I was, and back to wood placing I was. And after a while, the XP farm was officially done. Okay, let's go, skeletons. Wait, chill. Okay, creeper. Yeah, I nearly died to these 3 geniuses. I ended up finishing the XP farm, but made it too high up and they all just died on impact. So I went back up to fix it, but was attacked by an invisible skeleton. So I turned around and was not doing that today. I went back to the storage room and just spent this whole day organizing the chests, so I knew where everything was. On day 62, I went back to the XP farm and lowered the blocks by 1 so they wouldn't die as soon as they fell. Yo, the turtles have finally left the ship. They're making their way out here in the world. I ate some food, chopped up more wood, and it was finally done and working. I got as much wood as I could and had this idea to create a giant block around the one block made of each different biome in each section. So I got to it. I placed the wood, cobblestone, sandstone, ocean blocks, leaves, and snow, but didn't have enough netherrack or endstone to finish it all yet. But you know, I kind of messed up. I realized the block wasn't even and I still needed an entrance into it, so I destroyed a lot of this thing and had to rebuild it. Then this Ian like 2.0 and his llamas decided to pull up and start attacking me for no reason. It took the whole day of building and thinking, but eventually I found a way to make this work. Day 65, I mined more of this nether section of the block. I fought and almost died to a hoglin, and then had an angry blaze shooting fire at me. So you know what I did? I trolled this thing, but it started raging and just burnt my base down. I put everything I got back into the chests and hit the special block some more until Thanos' son appeared. He didn't know how to walk, so I pushed him into the nether section. I got some blaze rods and someone's tears were in this chest. Then some not so friendly Peppa Pig spawned in, and I taught them the way of the axe. A chest spawned in with a wither skull, and another one of Thanos' kids spawned in I had to take care of. I removed some of these blocks from the nether section because they just didn't belong, and filled this place up with all the netherrack I had. Later, the Fire Nation attacked, and the rain was not helping, so I relied on the trusty axe. And then was visited by some more wither skeleton. See ya. Oh, some ancient debris. I will take it. I got some decent chests, and a monster party appeared. As soon as I saw the blaze spawn in, I got out of there. And when I turned around, a ghast was shooting bombs at me. That thing is ascending. I got a bow and arrows for my chest and went to war. But turns out most of the mobs fell into the void, and that ghast is somewhere out there roaming the void. I do not know where that thing went. I did some farming, started a mosh pit, and sheared the sheep, but I accidentally opened the gate and a flood happened. They all started invading this base, and I made a lot of food out of this. I had a fight with the blaze, kept fighting the block, shot some more blaze, and built with the netherrack. Come on, I'm trying to mine here. Yo, what is this loser doing? I took out some skeletons and got my first lava bucket. Then some ghast spawned in trying to ruin my base, so I made them regret it. I spent my time building the nether area more, and I really underestimated how much nether I'd need for something like this. And I ended up fighting creatures the whole night, and eventually reached the end of this phase. I got a chest filled with netherite scraps and blaze rods, then transferred items into their chests. I got rid of some netherrack and filled the holes with other materials from the nether. I still had the entire winter section and the end section to work on, so I had a time crunch ahead of me, which meant this really needed to be sped up in order to have everything completed by day 100. I filled in some areas with glowstone to add some brightness to it, and that was it for today. I added some soul sand throughout here so I could plant some netherwort. I added some vines, cause why not, and gathered some XP over at the mob grinder. I used the bones to make bone meal and made the vines massive. Then I smelted some ancient debris. I didn't have many desert resources left for a massive build, so I used what I had to make the start of a small pyramid. Goodbye, chicken. I haven't made a nether portal yet, so I decided to build one over in the nether section. But unfortunately, I had no flint and steel, so I did some big brain stuff and placed some lava and wood, hoping eventually the wood would burn and that would light the portal. And while that was happening, I worked on more of the pyramid. Yo, the wood is burning. Please light the portal. Please. Oh, the portal's lit. Okay, we are good. I hit the block more during this plenty phase. Then a bee spawned. And that wasn't even what hurt me. Some spider went crazy and brought me all the way down to 1 heart. So I unlived it. This phase was pretty much all of the phases combined into one, so I'll have more resources to fill in the other sections. I got stung by a bee, and this thing hurt, and right when I thought I escaped, it just came back for more. I finished the day by opening up a chest that contained a lower 3 enchant and a fire resistance potion. This block that was around the 1 block didn't have a roof, and now that I had the materials to make it, that's what I did. But the end section was still missing in action. I went over to the mob grinder to get some XP and hit the special block some more. A mule decided to say hello. Why would I need a mule around? Like what is a mule gonna do? I tamed this mule and we rode around. You like phantoms? I sure don't. A gang of them pulled up on me and tried jumping me, and then everyone decided to fight me. These things were annoying, and eventually I got them. I then saw this llama about to go into the nether, and I totally didn't try to push him in. I used the leftover dirt to fill the plains in some more, and I could not get a break. A monster party showed up, and you know what it was full of? Bees. One by one, I showed them the way of the axe, and they showed me the way of the poison. The next day, there was another bee below me, but it didn't know how to go up. After spending more of my time with this block, I was visited by some green squares. Then I got a message saying the monsters vanished, which I guess means the bees disappeared. I made some cobblestone slabs and filled in a little where the snow mountain area would be. And here is where I run into a problem. The 1 block doesn't really give you much snow stuff, so I had to be creative with this section. The plenty phase gave me a lot of quartz, and since quartz kind of looks like snow, I'll be using a lot of it in the snow area. Some more lava, I'll take it. Day 76, I made an enchantment table, crafted 2 netherite ingots, made a smithing table, and a netherite pickaxe, a netherite sword, then smelted up some iron. I needed to make an enchantment room still, so I got to building a bridge out to a new section where that would be. Why is there a piglin right here? The outline was done, and now it was time to make the building. Day 77. The building was starting to look good, and I added some pillar designs in there, so it wasn't just a plain boring enchantment room. And now it just needs the bookshelves and the table. Some paper, made some books, and boom, now we got some bookshelves. I made some more until I had about 18 of them and got to placing. Now the book room was complete, and it was time to enchant. I enchanted the sword, the pickaxe, the shovel, and now mining would be a breeze. Day 78, I was attacked by an angry child, and then spotted a burning man. I couldn't let this dude die, so I brought him into the water and built a prison box. The zombie villager was gonna be cured, so I crafted myself a fermented spider eye, made up some splash potions of weakness, along with a golden apple, and boom, was cured. And then the rain started coming in, and I was pushed back. I ran right into a creeper, and this thing unleashed the floodgates. The cows were loose. Then another went off. Cows were falling into the abyss. It was an all-out war. I tried fixing this with some blocks, and eventually somewhat did, but today it was a nightmare. On day 80, I woke up to an army of cows, and I went to check on the villager. Thankfully, the villager survived out of all this, and I ended up abducting it on a boat and brought it over to the villager house, where he would live his nice life until I find another villager. I got back to the cows, gave them all a nice high five, crafted some glowstone, and placed them all around the map because I was not having last night happen again. I visited the mob grinder so I could enchant more, and a creeper blew it up, so I was out of there. The next day, I fixed the mess and had this idea that I was gonna place some glass around the XP farm so I could see if a zombie villager spawned in, which worked until it was blown up again. I basically wasted this entire day trying to fix a problem that I caused. Later tonight, I gathered up all the desert blocks and finally finished the rest of this mini pyramid. On day 82, I needed more cobblestone for the mountain section, so today I created a cobblestone farm. It was a little slow. It did the job. I mined until I had a stack. I made some slabs and got to expanding this mountain section, which hopefully I would have enough snow for by the end of this. And later, I picked up the snow and scattered it around, and just repeated this process for the rest of the night. The mountain section is finished being filled in. Unfortunately, this is all the snow I have left, and I really didn't have much snow resources. I made a mini tree here, and looking back, I'm not sure why I made this tree. Since I didn't have snow, I had to improvise and just place some white quartz around here. Let's pretend that this is a total masterpiece right here. This cave was still unfinished and the days were slowly counting down. So I gotta move on it and I added more to the roof and the sides of the cave. But eventually, by the next day, the cave was almost filled in and I had a ton of gold ore left over and I really wasn't using it for anything. So I just decided to throw half of it in this place and boom. The cave section is officially complete. I went back to mining this block because I still had a lot of the space to get through. I fought the most annoying Minecraft mob, some creepers, poisonous spiders. Why am I always getting poisoned by these things? Gladiators, then charged creepers began spawning in. So not fun, not a fun time. Today I enchanted an iron chestplate and helmet. Yes, I was a broke boy, not gonna lie. I did not have any diamonds, but that did not stop me. I mined the block, letting the creatures attack each other, some big brain moves. And a chest gave me a Vindicator spawn egg. This block just gave me more blocks I did not need, along with creatures I didn't like. A purple chest appeared with an invisibility potion and an enchant of impaling, so finally something a little bit useful. Then I got the best thing of all, a jack-o'-lantern. I placed it under this tree right here, cause I don't know, honestly. Why are these flies spawning everywhere? I can't be dying to flies, so I made some more armor. But along with the flies, an evoker spawned, so I took it out and got my first totem. Got myself a 1-up mushroom right here. I think the game must have heard me because right after I said that, a monster party formed. So I placed some gates so I could get a look inside and got blown up by a creeper. I sought revenge and took out everything with a bow. Day 86, I was welcomed by a charged creeper, then another evoker. Bruh, why? I made a long work of them, almost dying, but I got another totem out of it, so that was good at least. I really needed to get through this phase fast, so I spent the rest of this day hitting the block, fighting off whatever Karens came my way, and kept anything of value until I reached the end of the phase. Oh my, we have done it, guys. We are now on to the next phase. Day 87. While this phase was loading, I enchanted some armor and my axe. Since the plain section was completely filled in with dirt now, I placed the leftover dirt I had in the jungle section, where I would plant bamboo. Also, the cow area was looking like a wall, so fix that. And got onto mining the end phase. Luckily for me, all these end creatures were extremely easy to take care of. And some of the chests here actually dropped useful items. I was going to need a ton of end materials for this build that I had planned for the end section. And the end biome is the final section we got left in the circle. Also, endermen that spawned from the block were just scared of me and didn't fight back. But shulkers, on the other hand, spawned and were very annoying. Every time they hit me, I just floated up over to this cave though, so I was chilling. Day 88, my nether pickaxe broke, so I crafted a diamond pick and enchanted it with Unbreaking 3 and Fortune 3. Then the first of the end phase monster party began, which I made quick work of and mined the block. Now, since I had a lot of endstone, I began building this end section. Then went back to the block for a bit, till I reached the end portal. Now all I needed to do was finish this end section and then take on the dragon. So that's what I worked on. My idea for the end section was to create an end ship. So on the left there'd be a pirate ship and on the right there'd be an end ship. And on day 90, speaking of the ocean ship, it still needed a sail. So I got together some wool and made my way up to the lookout section. This place is looking good actually, wow. With only 10 days left, I still had a decent amount to build, so I got right to work on the sail. It's nice to have a view of everything while I'm building this instead of just boring ground. Wait, where did the trader go? Where the heck is this dude, Ian? Yeah, Ian and the other wandering trader were gone, and it seems the turtles were the only OG survivors left in the end. Back to shearing the sheep. Bruh, I cannot move. I am stuck. These things literally trap me in here. Day 91, a zombie villager spawned in and I tried to save it, but right before it made it to the water, it died. This reminded me that I had another villager kind of locked up in a house, so I went over to check on it and he was still alive and thriving, just chilling over there. I planted some trees and still had to build more of the sail, and finally today it was finished and actually not looking too bad. I think it looks good. The trees grew in and so did the bamboo, and I had a leftover jungle sapling and used some bone meal on it in hopes to get more saplings so I'd have more trees throughout here, but I only got one back. There were some leftover blue ice blocks I found in a chest, so I just scattered those around the snow section, and on the next day it started raining and I came up with the idea to put a border around the circle, so that's what I got to adding. And out of the dark, out of nowhere, a zombie villager spawned in and I lured it into the pyramid. So now we just have to cure this thing and we will have 2 villagers. After building the border, I finished up filling in the end section, but since I was out of end stone, I had to improvise and use the bricks. Next, it's time to make a giant ship. But for this, I kinda got myself into a tricky situation. I built all night and all day. The ship was starting to take form and my materials were running very low. It's day 94 and this is what I had built. I really underestimated how big these ships were, and I just have to leave the rest to when I go to the end. I checked on the zombie villager to see if this thing was still alive, and I accidentally broke the wrong block. So I bet you can guess what happened to this villager. Yeah, that happened. Why does this always happen to me? In a couple of days, I had to fight a giant dragon, and I needed 3 more Eyes of Ender, so I prepared and crafted all the resources I needed, then enchanted my bow. Later that night, another zombie villager appeared, and this time I actually saved it. Hey, didn't kill it this time. Okay, that's good. I wasn't broke anymore and had diamonds to spare, so I crafted a diamond chest plate. Days 95 to 96, I enchanted this, but it's been 95 days and I still didn't have an anvil. So I crafted one, fixed up my diamond axe, and added flame to the bow. Bottles of enchanting. I said hello to the cows, made some books for enchanting, and said hello to the angry mobs. So now I could level up and get some good enchants. I ended up getting sharpness 3, which I added to the axe, and repaired my helmet before saying hello to more mobs. Days 97 to 98, I got efficiency 4 on my pickaxe, and spent the day repeating the same process to enchant diamond boots. This sheep has to chill. What are you doing? Today, I prepared to go to the end. I got food and everything I needed before going in. Yo, okay, we're in the end. We have made it. We just gotta get in and out, nothing else. I shot the end crystals. Missed the end crystals. Why is this not hitting? I'm not trying to die right now. Once they were down, it was time to take out the dragon. Chill. Okay, chill. I almost got 8.5 by the dragon, so I popped the golden apple, and then I was launched. Alright, this is not good. Where's the water? No way! I don't know how I'm alive. That was clutch. Somehow I was still alive, so I went right in for the dragon, got some hits. Come on, you dang dragon, when are you to die? Oh, not this again. Dang, I'm totally clutch. This is it. One more hit, please. And with that, the dragon was finally defeated. All that was left was to take the dragon egg and place it on the 1 block. Day 100, I placed the dragon egg on top of the 1 block, and with that, I survived 100 days on 1 block skyblock. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you all enjoyed this longer style movie. Drop a like and subscribe and comment what you want to see next. Peace out and God bless.